So we're live. I gotta pause the poll. We gotta start with the video because it's 5 o'clock. We're here. All right, we're live on YouTube. Fantastic. Welcome everybody on the YouTubes. Today we're gonna be talking about electrical vagus nerve stimulation. Oh, you don't see the poll? I don't know why. That sucks. I paused it for a second. I don't know why that happened, but anyway, I loved Mission Impossible. I got to see it this weekend, and it was awesome. Highly recommend that movie if you can see it. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about electrical vagus nerve stimulation and how it works. What's the mechanism of how electrical stimulation works in the ear and how it works in the neck in both implanted and non-implanted ways. So we're going to talk about that today. But before we get started with that, we're going to do our famous simultaneous squeeze. So everybody, we're going to take a deep breath in, big inhale, take a sip of air at the very tippy top, hold it in, and then squeeze it with your diaphragm. Really squeeze and hold tight like you're blowing out a balloon, but you're going to keep all that air in, and you're going to hold that for 5 seconds, and it's going to feel really good. All right, ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, breathe in. Take a sip of air, hold and squeeze. And then slowly exhale. Good. And you should feel like a little high from doing that. It feels pretty cool. So that's the simultaneous squeeze. We love it here. That's why we start these videos. Now, for today's topic, we're going to be talking about the latest craze, the latest trend in consumer technology that involves putting electrical batteries on your ear and on your neck. And we're going to discover how that alone is able to stimulate your vagus nerve powerfully. It's going to be amazing. We're really going to dive deep into the scientific literature and talk about this incredible new piece of technology. So, what is electrical vagus nerve stimulation? Well, eVNS is what we're going to call it, or TAVNS, which is transcutaneous auricular electrical vagus nerve stimulation, is the process by which you run about 9 to 27 volts of electricity through your ear with a little ear clip that you power through a handheld unit, usually a tens or a micro tens unit, and you plug in certain frequencies on the device, and that controls the pulses of electricity that go through your ear. Conveniently, your vagus nerve is located also partially, a little tiny little dinky little branch of your vagus nerve does happen to run through your ear. So technically it's possible to electrically stimulate a small branch of your vagus nerve right in your ear. So that is one form of vagus nerve stimulation. And the other form of vagus nerve stimulation is where you either wrap something like a necklace around your neck, or you hold a device, a handheld device, right up into your neck. You jam it in there and you stimulate those nerves, and you're going to notice that your mouth goes like that. You're going to have those muscles kind of contract, and that's how you know that you're stimulating. There's a lot of products in this category range between, some amount of money and some other amount of money. But there's so many of them of different quality that it's really up to you to kind of explore which one speaks to you. As far as what they do, they're all basically going to accomplish the same thing according to their marketing material, which is you're going to experience a deep sense of calm and relaxation and stress reduction and all this kind of magical stuff. So that's what electrical vagus nerve stimulation can potentially, according to the literature, do for you. So what I wanted to talk about today is still keeping on the trend of looking at the top products available for electrically stimulating your vagus nerve. So I'm going to post in the chat a couple of the options. So we're going to go from the very tippy top, the top of the curve, because I only want the best for you. I don't want you choosing something that's just cheap and made in China or something like that. So we're going to go with the first one, which I absolutely love. It's called the Nemos device, and that's from a company called VNS Solutions. And I'm going to get the link for you here in the chat in a moment. Here we go. TVNS. There we go. Serbomed. Hold on. TVNS. There we go. All right. Here we go. In the chat. Boom. There we go. So this is for the TVNS device called the Nemos, and it's a very comfortable device that fits in your ear. It's, I would say, the most customizable, comfortable, app-specific device that you can get. It's available in the EU, but you can get it in Europe. And if you work with the company, you can get it shipped here to the US. But this is definitely the best. This is the in-ear device that they use to treat epilepsy. Anytime you treat epilepsy, you know you're in a good territory. That means it's a really good device. So I would say that the Nemos TVNS medical device is probably the best out of all of these. I posted before about the Serbomed Nemos device. This is that device. So I'm going to put you onto the English speaking website right here. It's t-vnstherapy.com, but it's en.tvnstherapy.com because that's the English version, but they ship out of Europe. So that's the company that you want to look for. So how that device works, if I can get a picture in the chat, I would. I might be able to get a picture of how it fits in the ear. It really just depends on what they're willing to put in on their website. Give me a second. I believe I can post a picture. TVNS therapy devices. Here we go. Copy image address. Okay, incoming. Watch the chat. Boom. So that picture should show you a picture of the actual device. Yeah. So if you look at that picture in the chat, you can see how that looks. And then also, just so you know, it fits in the ear. And it is electrical stimulation. And it's approved for the following conditions, which might take up all of the chat. But if you click see more, you can scroll down and see all of it. So the TVNS L is approved for the treatment of the following indications: anxiety, asthma, atrial fibrillation, autism, cognitive impairment, Crohn's disease, depression, epilepsy, fibromyalgia, inflammation, migraine, Parkinson's, Prader-Willi syndrome, sleeping disorders, stroke, and tinnitus. So you can see just how many things that this TVNS device is approved for. This lets you know that this is a very high quality in-ear, very, very comfortable device that has minimal side effects, if any, and it's non-surgical. You can do it at home. You can do it anytime. And as far as, VNS devices are concerned, this one is probably, I believe, the best out of all of them. And you can order it in, wherever you are, basically. Now, the company has changed hands. I believe it was primarily based out of Germany prior to this, and I think more recently is a Turkish company, but it's still the same product. So it's a good product. You should, if you can, hunt that down. It is approved for all of those conditions, and it is really good. So definitely go for that one. Then in terms of, let's see, neck stimulation, the one, where is it? It's called, what is the one called? They use it for opioid addiction. Here, I have a list of things on my computer here, real quick. There is a VNS device approved for opioid addiction recovery that uses a really good core VNS technology. Opioid recovery. Give me a second. VNS approval. I think it's called like the Phoenix or something like this. Yeah, the bridge device. Here it is. The NS2 bridge device, I believe is what this is called. All right, I'm trying to get a picture so you can see it. Here we go. This is a good picture. All right, so I'm going to put this in the chat. Hopefully you can see the picture. That's my guess. Let me see. Come on. All these pop-ups and stuff. Copy image address right there. Boom. Okay. So check out the chat. It should show you kind of a little thumbnail of what we're looking at. You can see this is a device that attaches to the very back of the ear and then has stickers that goes in and around the ear. So this stimulates electrically throughout the ear. This is called the NSS-2 bridge device for VNS. So that's the technical name. Let me see the company. It's a long post. 40 IPG. Here, where is it? Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to find you the website for this. Does it really work? It does work very well. You only use it for 10 minutes a day, which is fantastic. And it sticks on your ear. Here we go. Here it is. I got it. Okay, I have the device now. There we go. Perfect. Okay, here. So here's the website for this device. It's called The Bridge. Now it's sold by Massimo. It's a fantastic device. This is like absolutely the one to get if you're looking for like the best of the best of the best as far as VNS goes. So it is used currently as a treatment for addiction, for opioid recovery. But oftentimes these companies will approve off-label usage for good devices. This one is amazing. You know, it doesn't use any clips. It comfortably just sticks onto the ear in certain locations. It's a wireless. It's fantastic. So, and you have to have a doctor to fit it to, you know, do the initial placement. But it's absolutely incredible. So that's the other device that I would recommend. So you've got two devices, one called the TVNS and the other called the Bridge. So that's two devices for eVNS that I think are really good. What else? There's got to be another one that goes on the neck. It would be, I do remember one, there was one that neck stimulation for weight loss. There was this product that you stimulate your neck with, and it helps you lose weight. And I'm just trying to figure out what that specific product was called. Little hard to figure out what the specifics, what the specific name of it was. What was it called? It was a device you wear around your neck. Around the neck to lose weight. It was a cranial nerve stimulator. And it was on the Dr. Oz show. What the hell? Bum, 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 bum. Okay, well, maybe I'm not going to be able to find it but I swear to goodness, it was this device that was on Dr. Oz before. But I'm not seeing it. So it's like one of those things that will come to me, but I forget what it's called. But it's a cool device. I really do like it. Anyway, I'm not a big Dr. Oz fan. I'm just remember that it was on that show. Some people got pretty depressed though. That was one of the things was post usage. There was this device that you wore around your neck. If you guys in the chat watching know what device I'm talking about, it was like a necklace that stimulated right here and right here, right over the vagus nerve on both sides of the neck. And it would help people like lose like 10, 20, 30 pounds as long as they would stimulate around the time that they wanted to eat so they could reduce hunger. And it worked as long as you had it on. But at the moment that you stopped using it for a week, you would gain all that weight back. But for the weight loss initially, it worked great. So all the testimonials were like, "Oh my God, this is so good. I'm like blown away. This is such an amazing device." But then you would hear the, 1 month, 2 month, 3 month reports where they're like, "Oh my God, I gained all that weight back. Like it didn't do anything." As long as you use it and you keep on rebuying all the sticky pads and all, the disposables, then it will keep on working. So, I think a lot of vagus nerve stimulators are going to be like that, where they want you to keep on, rebuying gels and this kind of stuff. And that's how they kind of make their subscription money, is by selling you gel. I'm really trying to figure out what the thing was. It was a cervical neck stimulator for weight loss. Not a lymphatic massage. Here's a good one. Oh, this is cool. While we're on the subject, since I'm having a hard time finding it, since we're on the subject of weight loss, I will share this article, which is actually pretty interesting. It showed that an implanted vagus nerve stimulator in a mouse vagus nerve caused it to eat less food, thereby losing weight. And they have since replicated that in human beings too. So vagus nerve stimulation could be an effective way to help people lose weight, which I think is fantastic. Stimulator. I'm going to share a couple, good implantable devices that are available. What was the one? There's one that Kelly Owens VNS implant. Setpoint Medical. This is one of these devices. VNS implant from Setpoint. Okay, this is great. Okay, I do have this. All right. So there is a company called Setpoint, and they produce a implantable vagus nerve stimulator. Oh, come on. It's making me subscribe to this website so I can get the pictures. I don't want that. Setpointdevice.com. Sorry, I'm trying to get you some pictures you can look at in the chat. Here we go. How about this? Okay, nice. All right, you guys are in luck. All right, so copy image address, paste it into Facebook. Boom. Awesome. And I appreciate you guys for watching. That's very awesome that you're willing to sit through me doing all this. But the picture I'm going to post right here is actually really interesting. So this picture that I'm just now posting right here is a comparison between old school implanted vagus nerve stimulators and the latest versions of implanted vagus nerve stimulators. But don't let the size difference fool you, because the new device doesn't have much of a battery in it. You have to be wearing a collar around your neck, a wireless charger for the whole thing to work. So it's called the Micro Regulator Pulse Generator. That's the name of what this thing is. So very interesting. Um, yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna put that in the chat too, so you guys can see that. Oh, cool, Kathy. I just saw your comment now. I haven't seen a movie recently, but would love to hear your recommendations. If I could make a recommendation, it would be Mission Impossible. The new Tom Cruise movie was amazing. Absolutely amazing. My partner, she loved it. She's a huge Tom Cruise fan. It did not disappoint. I can assure you of that. So if you're into that kind of thing, I'd say out of all the movies you could watch today, Mission Impossible, hands down, was amazing. So anyway, hope that helps. Don't waste your money on any of this other stuff. I've heard the Sound of Freedom is good. It's a little too depressing to recommend, but it's pretty real stuff. It's pretty intense. But I absolutely think it's a worthwhile thing. Let's see. Wow. Okay. So I do want to share one other device since we're on here, microtransponder. So there's a company called Microtransponder, and they're doing some incredible work with stroke rehabilitation. I'll post that picture here in the chat. Boom. Awesome. Good. Cool. Kathy, you saw that. I wasn't sure if you were like at the very beginning of the video or if you were watching me live, so that's cool. So Vivistim is a device that is implanted that's being used for the treatment of stroke, and it is extremely powerful. Absolutely amazing story. They did a study that showed that folks who had a stroke, who lost limb control, they weren't able to move their arms or their legs properly again after a stroke, that if they had the vagus nerve stimulator being stimulated on during the sessions where they're in rehab, that they recovered 2 to 3 times faster than normal control studies, which is, for someone who's going through a stroke, that is absolutely incredible. So I really want to take this moment to commend Vivistim for providing what I think is a really exciting leveraging of vagus nerve stimulation technology. And it's also something that I teach my clients all the time, which is vagus nerve stimulation, when paired properly with a corresponding rehabilitation exercise, can be loads more powerful. So this is why, people ask me, hey, should I do vagus nerve stimulation and another treatment at the same time? I'm usually going to say, absolutely. You should do both, because if you do both, you'll get better results in both a lot faster. Like if somebody, look, given what I just told you, and you're like, yeah, I just had a stroke. I lost function in my left hand. I'm having to go to rehab. Would you recommend I do vagus nerve stimulation at the same time? Surely those might interfere with each other. The answer is hell no. They actually support each other significantly. You want to be doing vagus nerve stimulation during rehabilitation of crucial functions. And the reason that works is because vagus nerve stimulation enhances neuroplasticity across your brain, and it creates bridge connections between different neural groupings that have maybe disconnected because of illness, because of inflammation, because of a stroke, because of any number of reasons. So you absolutely should be, if you're trying to come back from an illness, you should 100% be using vagus nerve stimulation. It's not going to interfere with anything. You've got a vagus nerve. It needs to be healthy. If your vagus nerve isn't working, try throwing the world's greatest therapies at someone with a non-functioning vagus nerve. It's not going to work that good. It's just not going to work, basically. It'll work a little bit, but if you combine VNS with other therapies, it is like amazing. Like, I encourage all my clients to learn things, to read books, to learn new skills while they're in treatment with VNS. We use ultrasound, but any kind will probably do. Everything's relatively better than nothing. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. I'm really hopeful about some of the uses of these technologies. It's pretty incredible. So anyway, what else? I want to do an honorable mention because I respect the folks who do it. There's one device called a True Vega, which is provided by Gamma Core. And I'm going to put the link in the chat here real quick. If I can find a picture here. I like to be able to get a picture in the chat so you can see what it looks like. Here we go. Boom. Good. Good. So that picture should load an image of the True Vega. So that's good. And so that's a handheld device that you can put on your vagus nerve. Lots of stuff on TikTok. That's fantastic. People hawking that, making a lot of money. I'm super happy for them. What else? The other one is called the Pulsetto. And that one is, that's a device that you put on your neck also. But if we've learned anything from neck stimulation, we, certainly know not to don't put all of your hopes into some of these technology things. Certainly I encourage a level of, responsibility or manage expectations with these things. As we saw earlier, back in 2019, when that product initially launched, which was a neck cervical vagus cranial stimulator for weight loss, is that as long as you continued to use it, your body would lose weight. But the moment that you stopped using it, you would gain that weight back again. So just know that with some of these subscription-based products, is that as soon as you stop paying them, like to the tune of like hundreds of dollars a month for the device, they might stop working and then you might not get the results. So just something to consider, factor these longer term prices in, especially when you're considering this stuff. Now, if you went for an implanted VNS device, there's no subscription. And your insurance covers it. So if you can find an indication where your insurance will cover a VNS implant, insurance will oftentimes completely cover 100% of the cost for you. So that could be really helpful. That could be really great. Something to consider. Now, let's talk about quickly, how do these things work? Because I think that's an important question. I think that's a very important question that we need to answer. So let me just clear up my tabs because I have so many open right now. There we go. Okay. So sodium ion channels. Keyword for you to know. Sodium ion channels are at the interface between the inside and the outside of a cell, like a neuron. And maybe I can get this GIF to play in the chat. I don't know. Give me a second. I might be able to play some animations that show you how this works. Please let this work. Please let this work. That would be so cool. It's a GIF. I don't know if it'll load. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. So if I post a GIF in the chat, you can see voltage gated sodium ion channel. When sodium ions travel into a cell, it allows that neuron to fire. And what electrical stimulation does is it forces those membrane gates to open up and force sodium inside of the cell, causing the neuron to depolymerize and shoot electrical activities forward. So it spikes electrical stimulation forward. Now it kind of overrides its natural desire to activate, which is why it works. So if you electrically stimulate a nerve, it'll fire. It doesn't have any option not to. So that's, certainly, again, that's what happens with electrical stimulation. So cool. Such a cool animation. I wonder if there's anything else I can post here that could help you, understand this a little bit better. Let's see. Neuron stimulation GIF. These are fun. Let's see. Does this work? Yeah. Okay, cool. I might be able to post another No, it's a video. They want me to post it as a video. That sucks. Sorry. Copy video link? No. Well, you all know what a neuron firing looks like. Basically, it's not any kind of secret or anything. But let's see if we can post this here. I love using this feature on Facebook where I can just post like a GIF or whatever. It's pretty cool. Copy image address, paste it here, boom, boom. Cool. So yeah, if you look in the chat there, you can see what basically two neurons connected to each other looks like. In the middle is the myelin sheath, and that's part of your vagus nerve. And neurons can be extremely long. Your vagus nerve is especially long. That's what she said. But yeah. So let's see, copy image address. Can this work? Can this work? I need to come prepared with like tons of GIFs that I can post in here. This is amazing. You don't normally get to post animated GIFs in a chat on a live video. So this is very exciting. So what electrical stimulation does is it makes all of those neurons force fire, which means that if you continually blast a neuron with electricity, it's going to continue to activate no matter what. And that can eventually lead to depletion of the sodium surrounding that cell. So you can very quickly exhaust a neuron by electrically stimulating it too much. And typically what you see in growth studies of neurons is that if you have a neuron on one side of the room and a cluster of neurons on the other side of the room, and if you electrically connect the two of them and you start stimulating electrically, the neurons will grow fingers to connect with each other. So that does demonstrate the ability for electrical stimulation to increase neural growth. But as of yet, there's not a single case. There is not a single case where someone who had these amazing improvements from electrical stimulation ever willingly had their device turned off or removed or anything like that. Because if you stop electrically stimulating a nerve that's grown under the conditions of electricity, those neurons will recede and recess backwards. So, you'll lose a lot of the gains that you had. So just know that electrically stimulating your vagus nerve is signing yourself up for potentially could be a lifetime of stimulation. Now, in the short term, it could feel great. But, I have a lot of clients that do end up working with us with ultrasound because they found that they took benzodiazepines, for instance, and they were never told about the long-term side effects of benzodiazepines. Their doctor never warned them about it. They just said, oh yeah, this is great. It'll make you feel calm, relaxed. You'll feel at ease. You'll feel super confident. It'll be great. Trust us. And so they took benzodiazepines for 5, 10, 15 years until they wanted to get off of them because there are side effects from long-term use. And so then they quit cold turkey, and then lo and behold, their body gets extremely sick. Not good. And they have withdrawal symptoms, and then they experience electrical shortages in their brain, and they have brain damage from it, and they have neurological damage from it, lasting neurological damage, because they were told that, oh yeah, just stimulate these nerves with benzodiazepines, no problem, no issues. But there are issues. There are major issues. There are long-term consequences to this. And like I said, there is not a single case that I've ever heard of, and I certainly know all the people who would know that they've ever seen on electrical stimulation ever being willingly turned off. So, get nice and comfy with an electrical device if you're going to go down that route, because it's going to potentially, if it puts you into remission, is going to be a lifelong buddy. So, certainly choose wisely for these things. That's why, maybe potentially one option could be here which is if you go to that website that I'm posting here, vegascure.com, it gives you access to a full guide on how to set up a low-cost VNS ear clip option, which replicates some of these, multiple thousands of dollars devices for less than $100. And it gives you access to the right ear clips, the right gel to use that will last you for years. It lasts for a long time. And so you're not going to have to replenish or repurchase different stuff to make these things work. So you can try electrical vagus nerve stimulation for a very low cost at vegascure.com. That's a website that I maintain and update occasionally with new information, new protocols, but it's an actively managed website that I offer as a free service to people in the Facebook group and people all around the world who, again, are maybe not as knowledgeable as they need to be when selecting devices. And I find it's oftentimes best just to, hey, here's some really solid information. This is based on science-backed clinical data on how you use this properly and my personal experience in coaching with vagus nerve stimulation. So use it. You're not at any risk of harm if you do it properly. If you use a microcurrent device to stimulate your ear, you're going to be in good hands. And you at least can control the settings. And also you're not paying a subscription model for the rest of your life with an ear clip situation. And if you go on other groups, there's tons of people who use this guide, vegascure.com, used by now close to 10,000 people all around the world, that website. So it's well used, it's well loved, it's well liked. People get great results from electrical vagus nerve stimulation. And like I said, the way that it works is it stimulates your sodium ion channels and forces your vagus nerve to activate. So, again, if you're at your lowest level of health and you need all the help you can get, I certainly would recommend something like that to explore it, but then look ahead and say, well, I want to be on something that's potentially non-addictive. That's when you would want to make the switch up into ultrasound specifically. And we talked about that extensively yesterday and on day 1 of this week. So if you go back to Monday or Tuesday's video, I talked a lot about ultrasound in particular. We talked a lot about both, but day 1, we talked about the specific devices that I recommend. Today is just electrical, so I don't want to get off. I don't want to have to rehash the whole ultrasound thing again, so I won't go there. But vegascure.com is a fantastic resource to utilize and to go to. I'm going to post that here on the chat in YouTube. But yeah, other than that, guys, that's it. That will wrap it up for today's video. I'm going to end it here on YouTube. So thanks guys on YouTube for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow. So see you. And then on Facebook,